Kenio, do you like to fly?
Do we have a superhero in all of us?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's dive into it. Welcome back to the Juice Podcast. My name is Kenio, and with me I have my co-host
Andy, the guitarist.
And it's Friday. Finally, we hope you had an amazing week, and we're diving into another music review.
We are, yeah.
And you actually brought an artist and a song with you today.
I did.
You didn't really bring them physically, but you have them prepared.
Yes, I have, and you have listened to it. Today I want to talk about an artist who calls himself Five for Fighting. I, for the love of me, can't remember his actual real name right now because he's not originally American. He has some roots in other parts of the world, so his name is something with O, and I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, and I forget. But he's a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
He makes soft pop rock, soft rock ballads, and he's made a song called Superman, and it is probably the one that most people know about. It got very famous. And it's a song that is very deep to me. I really, really love it. What do you think about it?
Actually, kind of reminded me back in the James Blunt days. Because I don't know if it's his voice that's doing it or the genre that he's playing or the things connected. I thought it was James Blunt to begin with.
He has that high pitch James Blunt.
Yeah, so when you actually
song.
told it another name for him, we're like, wait, what? Like, it's another dude? Okay.
Yeah.
But actually, it's very, very good.
It's an amazing song. I really love it.
It's a song that makes you tear up if you actually listen to the lyrics of this track.
The song is called Superman, and the first sentence of the song, I believe, I can't stand to fly.
And I don't really feel like naive. Superman when I'm listening to it.
And when looking at the world, looking at my life, the way, the way a lot of things happening right now, the way it is to be in this world, and maybe especially for men. I know that we have fought a lot for equality and feminism, and for female rights. Yeah, I am actually gonna come back to the song in just a minute.
Yeah, like wait.
But this song hits a problem for men, I think, and it's the idea that we need to provide all the time. It's the idea that we are only worth something as long as we can fight, as long as we can give our life, our back, our money to something, and that's all we can only be heroes. We can only do all these things and sacrifice our lives constantly for somebody else we love. And I love the idea that even most heroes are hated. In almost all of the movies, Superman is hated. Everybody is hated, and sometimes
everybody loves to see a hero fail, fall, die.
Yeah, and it's beautiful because he describes the thing that we need to do the right thing, and I think a lot of humans in general wants to do the right thing and wants to sacrifice everything for their friends and their family, but it hurts.
Yeah,
and we as males are not exactly the best at showing emotions and showing when we hurt and when we need help. You can think about that what you want. And I think this song is kind of like a good way of like viewing it. Like, it's that whole emotional thing that even heroes, I think he sings at one point, even heroes have the right to bleed.
Yeah.
He doesn't say they have the ability. They have the freaking right to bleed.
Actually,
and that's pretty beautiful.
When we heard this track, we were looking at the music video at the same time, and we're gonna link the music video down in the description, you guys.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
And even though it's an older version, like in the older video, there's a lot of transition going on from like one reality to another.
Yeah.
And there's one point in the video that I noticed is kind of embracing that LGBT plus community.
It is. Like, it is. This is a song from 2001, by the way.
Yeah, actually. So it's
20 years
going
ago.
far back here. But there's a scene where two girls is just about to,
Do the kissy stuff.
Yeah, kissy and touch lips there. But they were interrupted with this dude that transitioned in some way and kind of
yeah, it's like it has this whole thing where it changes all the time, where like there's a girl who's about to change, but the person who's actually about to kiss keeps like morphing into different persons, I believe. The scene goes,
and in some way it felt like a political statement. Just
back in 2001, it definitely was a political statement having two girls. And like just suggesting they were about to kiss.
Straight away transition into a straight couple just as the kiss is about to land.
Yeah. We can't know what the artist meant with this. I can't really ask him.
Because it didn't really feel like it was part of like had any connection to either the lyrics and to the rest of the video, but it felt like it was just smothered in there for some reason.
I feel like it actually shows a bit of inclusiveness in the video in some way.
It felt like a hint somewhere.
Yeah, but if you view it like this, what he's singing about, that basically we're all just want a little bit of love and affection. Yeah. And we all fight for it. And it doesn't really matter what you get it or how you get it or which, but just we need it. We need the emotions. We need that connection. And I think it basically just shows that it doesn't really matter if it's two dudes or two girls or whatever it is that are giving each other that safe space, that emotional connection. Doesn't really matter. Not all heroes. And again, in the song, I think what's the lyric? I'm more than a man with a silly red sheet. Yeah. Looking for kryptonite and stuff like that. And that's I think he's saying is I'm just a man in a silly red sheet. Yeah. And I think that it's a beautiful analogy that we can sacrifice and we can do so much and so much is expected of us as persons. But I think for me what I choose to put in it is that a lot of the issues we have right now around the world and equality is that there are just so few men who have the ability, the capability, and the safe space to actually show those emotions. They are not heroes all the time. They are not.
It definitely feels like there's an early political statement throughout the whole song, but it's more than just one political. It kind of feels like he's speaking as like seeing men for more than they are. Like, he is a musician. He's an artist.
Yeah, he is.
And that's kind of a job equivalent just as well as someone who's working in construction. But the question is, already back then, what is seen as proper job, and then especially for a guy who's playing the piano? What is seen as a proper job? Are you an artist? Is that a proper job? Is that can that provide for the family and so on for the following that dream? Yeah. Or do you have to be one of the dudes who's with a white helmet on him and working construction and whatever? It kind of took me down that road. Yeah, in a way, because that's especially because I'm more than a man in a red sheet. Like, he is. He's an artist. He's he has something on his mind that he wishes to speak. Yeah.
And I think it's a good example of how some music you can relate to it in very different levels, depending on what mindset you're in. Yeah. I am definitely putting in these times where we're talking a lot about humanity and how we're supposed to push past what we're doing right now. What is the future going to look like? We've had some ginormous issues around female equality, and we're kind of also realizing to some degree that the reason that there are so many men who are either deeply depressed and killing themselves or outgoing and violent, that we are
that was a deep dive.
Yeah, but we're kind of like having to also have to realize and talk about that there's a lot of men who are trapped in the idea that they need to be not emotional, that they don't have that space, and I think that's also important. That's what I put in. I think it's an important thing to
that just
allow it
right there. Yeah,
exactly. And I think we could.
But I think, sadly, in my opinion, that especially because my first thought was this is James Blunt.
Yeah,
and I think that this dude got overshadowed by the James Blunt success. I'm not really sure they came out in the same in the same time span.
2001, this song came out, Superman. He has made a couple of other songs who are also popular, but I do know that he never reached that pop star level that he did in 2001. Today he is doing a lot of other things.
It really took me back to like You're Beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same.
It kind of had the same
ballad
vibe,
rocky
like
thing.
Ballad
Yeah,
rock. It's also because I think his voice is actually the one who's most guilty of taking me back to James Bond, like driving me in that direction.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure if that's a strength or a weakness, because James Bond is a big star, and I kind of maybe just this guy is overshadowed by that success.
I don't really think that's actually the case, because James Blunt kept making music and he did not. He stopped. And
now we're bringing back this guy.
Yeah, the last time he actually made music was in 2004, I think. So I don't know. I don't actually know why Five for Fighting stopped making music. He never really got back into that public. But when Superman came out, he was the big shot.
Yeah.
Really, it just blew up. Not as much in Denmark for some reason. It's not a song that I am particularly. I don't think a lot of people here know about it, but basically everywhere else.
Yeah. It's actually one of those songs when you listen to it, you recognize it.
Yeah, I can actually tell you the name Five for Fighting. The reason he calls himself that, or the explanation to the name, was that when he wanted to publish his music, his record label said that he needed to come up with some kind of band name, even though he was a solo artist.
Name.
Yeah, he's primarily a solo artist. It was just because that his name, even though he was American, but he had roots in other parts of Europe, his name was a bit hard to pronounce. And you just see that I actually forgot it, because it is a little bit hard to pronounce. So they wanted him to come up with a name that was a little bit easier for the American audience to pronounce and remember.
Five for Fighting, like why?
It's because he's a hockey fan.
He's a hockey fan.
Yeah, that's actually the explanation.
What does that Five for Fighting with hockey?
Five for Fighting means that if you start a fight on the hockey field and you start bashing your enemy, I was just about to say the enemy, the opposing team, and you start a fight like with your fist, you get 5-minute penalty. And that's called a 5 for Fighting penalty.
So you could say that Superman is inspired by hockey.
The song is this. His band name is comes from hockey. Yeah.
Awesome sauce, man. Well, thank you guys so much for listening into the Juice Podcast Music Review, and
go listen to the song and put down in the comment section what you think the song's about, what you think it means, how it transpires to today. What kind of meaning does it have for
you guys, especially? Yeah, and do you have any Superman moments? And what's your favorite hockey team? We would really like to know. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the Mighty Ducks because they're awesome.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember having one of these hockey games, and I always played as the Mighty Ducks because I really love the logo. So anyway, guys, have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Yep, stay juicy.
Stay juicy, man.